Hey there and welcome. Today let's talk about the functional trainer V-bar seated row. This is an incredible exercise for your back. It's going to be primarily working the rhomboids, which is basically the shoulder blades, the muscles in that area. First thing you're going to want to do is set up your cable to, I would say, around a little lower than hip height. And then you want to move your rotational arm all the way to 1, so that way you're inside the machine instead of in the middle of the gym floor. And then choose the appropriate weight. Make sure you can do 20 repetitions comfortably, and make sure you got the form down, and then start to increase the weight over time. So every other week, go up a plate basically. You want to be doing progressive overload. Once you're in that position, take a nice seat. I would say like on a basic bench, and sit up nice and tall. Make sure that you're allowing your scapula to protract as well as retract when you're pulling the weight back. Those two things are probably the most important things when it comes to back training. But before we continue, a word from today's video sponsor.
Me. I'm today's video sponsor, and if you'd like help losing fat or gaining muscle, there's a few ways I can help you down below. Either set up a free consultation with us, purchase through one of our free affiliate links, or purchase one of our instant access affordable training programs. Can't wait to be of service to you. Now let's get back to the rest of the video.
And the next thing I want you guys to focus on is making sure that your chin is tucked and that you're not leaning back as you do it. So you want to make sure that your torso is perpendicular to the ground, meaning that it's like forming a T. Think of it that way. Because as you start leaning back, what you're going to start doing is you're going to start doing almost like a shrug motion. So it starts working a little bit of the upper back, more of like the traps, which you can do when you're doing shrugs. So I don't recommend that you do that when you're doing rows. You want to be pulling at a different angle than what you would normally do on another exercise. If you want to work the traps, then just do shrugs. Don't do this. But like I said before, you want to really focus on protracting the scapula, which means to stretch the back when the weight's lowering back down, and then you want to retract the scapula when you're squeezing your back. So think about a penny in between your shoulder blades. That's what I want you to think about. That way you're squeezing your shoulders back and you're driving your elbows as far back as you can also. That's what you want to think about. And this is a great grip because it's very comfortable for most people. It's like a neutral grip, but it's also just one bar. It's not like two handles. But here's some common mistakes that I want to make sure that you guys avoid at all costs. Like I said before, leaning back while you do it. You're going to notice I'm pulling more into like my chest as I'm pulling because that's not what you want. You want to be pulling a little bit higher than your belly button when you're doing these rows. Also make sure to retract the scapula. Like I said, you don't want to be protracted like this. You don't want your shoulders forward the whole time. You also want to make sure you're doing full reps, full range of motion reps. So don't do half reps at the bottom or at the top of the range of motion. Full reps only. Also make sure that your chin is tucked. That way you keep the majority of that pressure on your back and not on your neck.